And we are live. Hit that repost button, Kaitlin, on this episode. We should be live. Welcome back to the RINO podcast, episode 132. After our long summer relaxing vacation, we are back. You may have seen my smiling face on some new shows. My new show, Back to Normal with the Mass GOP. Go check that out. Go share it with your friends. We are going to continue this. Sign up for the Patreon. We just did a Patreon episode on America's least favorite governor, Gavin Newsom, the lizard person, American Psycho, Patrick Bateman. He is. Patreon.com/RhinoPod, only $1 a month. We appreciate your support for extra content. Kaitlin, the summer, it's at this point in the summer where I like the heat. And I say this every spring. I'm like, no, I could go all year with nice warm weather, but I'm sort of ready. I'm ready for it to get a little that crisp little air. We're like a week away. We're like a week away from it. We're almost there.
I'm ready to wear boots again. I'm ready for the routine of fall. I'm just ready.
Yeah. It's funny how human nature, because we get about 80 years, give or take, on this planet if we're lucky, and just the cycles of it, and the world turns and we get used to it, and you think you want something forever because it's fun, summer's fun and shorts and swimming and all that good stuff, but you're ready for it, and it feels good. And we're in Massachusetts. Massachusetts in the summer is really nice. It's like, how far south when you grew up were you in? Like, was it like boiling hot?
It was nasty.
Yeah.
Like Louisville, I went to Louisville, Kentucky last week. Louisville is disgusting in the summer. It's humid because it's like right next to a river, the Ohio River. And if people in like Ohio are watching this, you all know what I'm talking about. It's like right next to the Ohio River and in Kentucky. And it's just humid. It's like so humid hot.
If you go east of Kentucky, what states do you run into? I'm trying to think how far south that it is. Just go.
If I were to go just east,
just straight east, you were walking east, driving east.
Wouldn't it be West Virginia, Virginia?
Yeah. All right. That's gross down there. That's like it's like 95 and gross and humid every
when
day.
I used to spend part of the summer in Louisiana, like you didn't go outside. You did not go outside from like 10 a.m. to 4 because it was nasty.
Yeah, I couldn't exist like that.
Especially like in like the midday. You could, like when I was in Louisiana, like the dew on the grass would be so thick because that's how humid it is.
Yeah. All right. There are advantages to living in the Northeast. I mean, well, come see us in February. We'll talk about it. But
we've had a pretty humid summer comparative to like what we usually have.
Yeah, it was sticky. There's some warm stuff, but it's going to break, and we will enjoy our entrance into fall. All right, Kaitlin, I'm going to play something for you. Here we go. Our illustrious governor.
This is, to be really clear about it, a partisan, craven, political power grab attempt by the President of the United States, Governor Greg Abbott, and AG Paxton. That's what this is. Quite simple. They're doing it by threat, by bullying people, by attempting to intimidate people, by attempting to invoke the criminal justice process to further their aim and their outcome. And honestly, this is what everybody hates about politics. And we're not standing for it. I just want to underscore what is going on here, what is happening in real time. This is an attempt to grab power, to change the rules, to determine a certain outcome. It has nothing to do with law. It is antithetical to law. It is antithetical to American democracy, and is antithetical to the functioning of American government, local, state, and federal, that we have known since the very beginning.
Okay.
This woman. Oh God.
That is such a crock of bullshit, and I will frickin' say it until the end of time, because you can draw a more Republican friendly seat, congressional seat out of Bristol County and in Plymouth and even maybe in Central Mass. So she's fucking full of it.
Yep. Look,
That's the only thing you can say.
do you know why?
It's supporting democracy. Okay, like you're
Do you know?
disenfranchising all of those Republicans in Bristol County by throwing them in with one of the most hard. Look at Ariana Presley's seat. Have you seen her seat? You want to talk about gerrymandering?
Yeah, well, that's a
crazy.
legal gerrymandering of a majority minority district, so it's okay. It's like it's a joke. It's the dumbest thing in the world. Like, what I like, there's a few things to hit on with these people. They still act like it's 1997, where when they get up in front of a press conference and they say with the TV cameras and it goes out to the TV, they say their predetermined talking points and they're going to lie. They're just lying through their fucking teeth. Like, there's not the internet. Like, there's not social media. Within seconds, they're fact checked on it. And a litany, which we're going to review here on this show, of counterpoints that just illustrating their hypocrisy comes to light.
And we've already talked about one of the big counterpoints right now. The state of Massachusetts, our congressional seats, just the congressional seats, the federal congressional seats, gerrymandered.
Yeah.
We don't even need to get into the state and house seats.
Well,
right?
I mean, we can't. They're gerrymandered too. They're gerrymandered too. And the funny thing is like these things, because
gerrymandering literally started here.
Yeah.
And the Democrats keep up with that tradition. So maybe it's a little bit more New England than you think.
Do you know why we know the name Scott Brown?
Because they slept on not Kerry.
No, yeah. Well, this is the why we know Scott Brown, Senator Scott Brown, Ambassador Scott Brown. Scott Brown's running for, I think he's running for Senate in New Hampshire for next year. Okay, and he might have a good shot at it. He's been up there for a while, but while he was here in Massachusetts, when Ted Kennedy was passed away, it was Governor. I think, well, they changed the law when Governor Romney was in place. So they were afraid of this. The Massachusetts legislature was afraid that Romney would be able to appoint a senator. So do you know what the Massachusetts legislature did? Mm-hmm. They changed the rules. They changed the rules for direct democracy. And they said, no, we're going to do special elections. Because they did special elections. When Ted Kennedy died, they put up Martha Coakley against Scott Brown, and this was in 2010.
The worst personality.
She's given us a lot of Massachusetts Republicans. She was the gift for us on two fronts. But Scott Brown got elected because Massachusetts Democrats, in an attempt for a power grab that backfired on them, wanted to change the rules. Simply, Ed Markey and Elizabeth Warren, as of months ago during the Biden administration, wanted to expand the Supreme Court. Remember this, Kaitlin? Remember our federal delegation talking about expanding the Supreme Court? Why don't they want to expand it now? It's August of 2025. I think but Kaitlin, this is what I'm talking about right now. We talked about this on the Patreon episode. Go to this. Because Republicans are done.
A lot of it is the hypocrisy of it. So so the thing that a lot of people have been telling me, they're like, well, at least the Republicans are being straightforward about what they're doing. Like, they're just saying, they're like, the census, the 2020 census was wrong. We're going to redistrict. We got our opportunity. We're going to do it.
Yep.
I do have to say, there's something to be said. It's like, there's your reason. You're going to do it. And now all of these hardcore massive blue states, Massachusetts with Maura Healey, getting on front of the camera because, she can't miss out on her time to shine. As much as I want to hear her speak, which is never. Gavin Newsom, for sure. Loves to hear him self-talk. Yeah, he talked about democracy.
Fake right. Democracy.
His nice fake veneers that scare me. talked about democracy, that Donald Trump is thwarting democracy. So he wants to thwart democracy in California. Did you know this, Jeff? To force redistricting on the
Yeah.
independent
Yeah.
district commission that they have, full of 5 Dems, 5 Republicans, 5 Indies, to change the congressional seats out of California. He actually miscounted them. It might end up being 4 if they do it. Right now, the current polling in California is showing that the people of California do not want him to do this. So he's actually literally thwarting democracy.
Yeah. So this is the fascinating thing. They don't. Well, by the way, I just got to say this for the record. Okay, so there's 2 things, 2 important points that I'm super glad liberals brought up over the past year. One, Kaitlin, it's 2025. Did you know democracy ended in 2024? Because democracy was at stake in the November.
Yeah.
Democracy itself was at stake in November 2024. They lost, so democracy lost. So there's no more democracy. There's no more democracy.
They lost the popular vote to Donald Trump in 2024.
Sorry. So democracy's been canceled.
You and I saw this happening over the summer because they pushed forward Kamala Harris. You know, they pushed her forward. And I said straightforwardly, I was like, I think she's peaking right now a little too high to go into this election. And this feels really artificial, like they're forcing her on us. You know, the same way with Gavin Newsom, right? Like they're forcing Gavin Newsom on us, and it's weird and it's cringy and embarrassing. And they don't understand that their political parties right now, their approval rating is like, what, 20 to 25% approval. And
yeah.
Just not cool, and it's like very weird and not normal, because they keep on pushing not normal political issues to the forefront, and people can't relate to it.
But this what I said earlier, they get up there and they still act like it's 1997, like they can control the narrative, and they're so detached, and they surround themselves with people that are also so detached from reality and normalcy that they cannot grasp that everybody sees through their bullshit. But maybe it is to the point, and this is very possible at this stage, I think it might be, that they actually believe, they don't know that what they're saying is bullshit. They really believe that democracy itself was at stake. And then, you know, they're on to the next election. So there's that cognitive dissonance to that. But also Maura Healey gets up there and says, this is just the worst thing in the world. It's a complete power grab. And they are oblivious to the fact that they do the same exact thing but worse in real time currently and are actively doing it. So, and they don't understand, to normal people, that looks insane. And they bring up Illinois congressional maps, Massachusetts congressional maps, Massachusetts state and house delegation maps, Scott Brown, Ed Markey, expand the court, Elizabeth Warren, expand the court, Elizabeth Warren, eliminate the electoral college, like right on down the line, all the insanity that they've been pumping for the past few years is just, they just don't get it.
And also with one of Gavin Newsom's statements in there is that it's election rigging. It's like, excuse me, your people of your party have been wanting to abolish the Supreme Court. They've been gerrymandering for decades. They've been wanting to change the electoral college, it's election rigging.
Yep.
That's what you're doing. That's what you're proposing. When they want to talk about expanding the number of House seats, that's election rigging. That you're doing that on purpose because you think that Democrats will win the House going forward. That's what is your motivating factor. So just be straightforward about it. Like, I just don't like it when you lie. Like you're lying about it, right? You're lying about your motivation. And the reason why you're mad, Democrats, the reason why you're mad is not because of the action itself. It's because people are starting to see that you're lying.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the reason why you're angry is because people are calling you liars because you're liars.
Yeah. The reason why they wanted to import all the illegal immigrants that have been coming in during the Biden administration was to increase the number of people in blue states, because when redistricting rolls around, the Constitution, unfortunately, is ambiguous about it. It's not American citizens; it's total population. So people who are illegally here count because blue states are losing so many people to red states because of their bad policy. So they need to inflate their numbers for congressional apportion. That's it. Like and people know this now. People know this now, but they act like they don't know it.
Yeah, like you act like we don't know what you're doing now. Like you're just lying, and you're lying to our faces. Again, your approval rating is 20 to 25%. Like people are seeing through it because you're not acting normal. Because also at the same time, as a political party, you're pushing forward weirdo positions.
Yeah.
Like it is weird to talk about like the trans stuff all the time.
All
weird.
the time.
I want to talk about it.
So I did a really great show with two parents from Burlington School District on Back to Normal. Go to the Mass GOP socials, Facebook, X, YouTube. It's there. Some really brave parents came on the show, but they stood up at a school committee meeting because the Burlington Mass put up a really inappropriate sexually geared survey to middle school students, 11, 12, 13-year-olds, asking about, are you cisgender? Are you genderqueer? Do you engage in oral sex, anal sex, vaginal sex? Like, yeah, wild stuff. 45-minute survey that they had to take in class, that they had to, that they could have opted out of, but it wasn't clear in the instructions for a lot of these kids. Also there's social pressure to like, well, you're going to get up in the middle of the class and ostracize yourself because these freaks want to push it on you. Like, this is a real thing. We have to start taking it on boldly and firmly. I'm not going to tolerate from any candidate some wishy-washy positions on that, especially on education when it's in the schools. Okay, like there's lines when it's involving government apparatus and tax dollars. There needs to be a very clear position from elected officials or potential candidates. Full stop. Okay, you want to get into outside of that? Be my guest. But we have a tendency in Massachusetts to want to, well, it's just taxes in the budget, right? That's it. It's like, no. A lot of people are leaving for all the nonsense here because the left just keeps going and going and going. And they look like freaks because this is like a 95-5 issue when you get down to it. But the 5% really are loud and obnoxious about it.
It's again, like all these weirdo positions, like immigration, weirdo positions that are not in line with.
Yeah, we talked about this before the episode, dude.
Yeah, like on immigration and deportation, we talked about, like I'll talk to people and they'll talk to me about illegal immigration and not supporting deportation. And I'd be like, so do you go to other countries and break their laws? Like, that's like the other thing, like that's my ultimate, like, I'm like, when I go to France, do I break, well, I would.
Dude, no, but you legally enter France. You legally, by their laws, legally enter the country. You can't sneak into France.
Within that also scope, I just don't break laws when I'm there. Like, I don't break laws when I go to Italy. So why are you okay with people coming to the United States and breaking our laws? Like, that's the other part of it.
And they're okay with it, and Maura Healey's okay with it because she welcomed them. She said it when she took office.
Part of it is when I talk to liberals around here, I always ask about the audit. That is my defining line right now, because we had a referendum last election on auditing the state legislature. Passed overwhelmingly, right, Jeff? What was the percentage? It was like 70%.
72.
Wow, 72.
So I have a different
72-28.
I have a different, slightly nuanced take on this one, and
okay,
I am.
Can we get to that in a second?
Go ahead.
But when I talk to liberals in the state, and I talk about the audit, I'm like, do you support the audit? And they're like, yeah, I voted for it. I was like, so would you vote for a state house rep that is currently on the side of like the establishment Democrats who are trying to stop this audit, this democratically approved referendum? And they're like, well, and then they like say like, oh, well, like, it's like the but. It's like,
yeah.
I don't mean to be rude, but it's like, no. Like, you either believe in the concept or you don't. So don't talk to me about democracy if you're giving me the, oh, well, but.
Well, this is the ironic. It sort of ties in part to my somewhat nuanced take on this. I support a full deep dive audit of the legislature. I think transparency is a good thing. I want it. I think
It's nuts that we don't have it.
It's crazy that we don't have it. The Massachusetts voters agree. And it is a truly democratic. It was voted on by the people and approved. Overwhelmingly. Here's the problem, and I'm in discussions with having the leader. If they're watching this, you get a little spoiler alert of what my position's going to be. Unfortunately, in the Constitution of Massachusetts, the auditor does not possess the power to perform this audit on the legislature. It would be like if the voter referendum came out, ballot initiative, and it said, all right, the governor can remove any state legislator they want just because they're the governor, and you want the governor to be able to pull.
So it's an executive.
So I actually think constitutionally. Here's my caveat to this. This is get out and maybe we'll discuss this if anybody.
But I feel we also have that and the federal side. So when you have like an inspector general, the inspector general falls under the executive branch, and they are allowed to investigate. They can investigate, I think, legislative.
But it has to be spelled out. Look, I would be in favor of a constitutional amendment granting the auditor the authority to audit the legislature and the executive and a whole bunch of things. I would absolutely be
have another referendum.
Well, but the problem, and here's the thing: you need to write this stuff down. This is why we write this stuff down in the Constitution. So I am in favor of it in principle. I just it would be like a voter referendum that gives authority to one branch over another branch that isn't constitutional.
If that had to go to like up to the Supreme Court.
It wouldn't go. But it wouldn't even go up to the federal Supreme Court. It's strict. This is a federalism issue. It should stay within the federal. The state constructs of the Commonwealth. And I would support a constitutional amendment that gave the auditor authority to do it. But right now, the auditor doesn't do it because look, if the Massachusetts state legislature or the voters,
it would have to be the legislature essentially appointing somebody to do it. Like, what's the fucking point of that then?
No, it would have to just explicitly say because the auditor is an elected position, and I think it's part of the executive branch, right?
It would have to be part of the executive branch.
Yeah, so it would have to say the auditor of Massachusetts hereby has the authority to audit all branches of government, something like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's it. I mean, look, and I'd be in favor of it. If the voters, let me ask you. Well, so let's.
I think the people in the current legislature who are digging their heels on this are being dishonest about the reasons, giving that reason.
1,000%. 1,000%.
They're being hypocrites, and that makes me hate them even more.
Yeah, look, they're not doing it on some. I'm putting that point up on principled constitutional grounds, legal constitutional grounds. I'm not doing it to hide the bodies, so to speak. They're doing it to hide the bodies.
There's lots of them to hide, aren't there?
Yeah, because I think once you find, I think it's wild to me that we have when Baker was in office, it was like a $40-something billion state budget annually. Now it's like a $60-something billion. In 3 years, we've blown at like 50% increase, and you can't. You can't.
Why did that happen?
you
was it because of the migrant hotels that they put all over the place?
Well, that was $1 billion, but I'm just guessing all the hack jobs that they hired for.
Like, oh, here's my kitty coming in. This is Minnie.
Hi, Minnie.
Yeah, she's a little ninja. She is all over the place. She's been playing with a golf ball if you've been hearing her.
So we're let me say this very clearly. When Maura Healey gets up and says that, I think there's maybe it plays well to the ultra liberal, ultra left wing base of her party.
Yeah,
And she
because
can't stop being an
they're-
activist. She can't.
and
Yeah.
they're angry, Jeff. Again, they're angry because we picked up on what they were doing and they were lying. They're angry because they got caught lying. Like,
Yeah.
they're not angry because the Republicans are doing this. They're angry that the Republicans are like, yeah, we're doing this now.
That's it.
And then they got caught lying about it because they've been doing it for decades. Again, if we're talking about congressional seats, you can definitely do a Republican congressional seat closer to Republican friendly congressional seat out of Bristol County. Like, sorry,
Yeah.
no, like Gavin Newsom. I honestly thought that Maura Healey's presser was funny because it came after Gavin Newsom's and she was just trying to vie for attention.
Yeah. It's a low rent version of the top national progressives that are across the country. Who's your top, like if you rank the top 3 to 5 national lefty politicians that get their face on TV, it would be Newsom, AOC, Elizabeth Warren. There's probably a couple others. Who gets on MSNBC all the time?
Pritzker right now.
Pritzker right now, and Maura Healey just is like desperately.
Andy Bashir is starting to get in there.
Yeah.
Shapiro, Pete Buttigieg.
Pete would be above Pritzker, but all that crew, and she's just like kind of not in that top 5, and she just really, really wants to be. She was so hoping that Biden won and she'd be AG, and gosh darn it, she has to run for re-election again. And all this woman talks about, all she talks about is Trump, 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 Trump tariffs, Trump this. Listen, I'm telling you, the desperation to deflect to the president instead of herself, like she thinks this is going to work. She's an activist. This is all she has. This is all she has. It's going to be great when we beat her next year.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm reading the news because Trump met with Putin this week and it's still a part of the big news right now. So,
well, let's wrap up. I watched.
You want to wrap up and do like 60 to 2 minutes on this?
Well, it's still undetermined. Like I can't discern what actually. I've tried to read up on it. It's just speculation. I haven't heard any concrete.
I don't think this initial talk was going to bear much of anything. I do think it was great that he brought him to Alaska because, if you know the history of Alaska, we bought Alaska from Russia because their country at the time was in a big financial strait because they, when did we buy it? Was this towards the end when they were having like several wars within like Ukraine and stuff?
Let me ask Grok.
Yeah.
Super Grok.
Yep.
When did America
buy Russia?
By Alaska?
Yeah, not. Well, I wish we could buy Russia.
The United States purchased Alaska from Russia on March 30th, 1867 for $7.2 million. The deal known as the Alaska Purchase.
Was that under Alexander III?
I don't know. It just says Secretary of State William Seward. Seward's Folly. I remember learning about that in school. So that's Seward's Folly, if you remember that, from grammar school. But I don't know who is it, 1867.
Not so much of a folly because Alaska has massive resources in it. And also it's a strategic good. It was now 150 years later, over 150 years later, good strategic purchase.
Yeah.
I thought that them bringing Putin to a military base in Alaska, the state that we bought for them basically for pennies, got I think a better deal than the Louisiana Purchase. And having a B-2 fly over Putin's head was great.
I heard what he said. He's like, maybe I'm misquoting here, or maybe it was bullshit. But when that happened, he goes, "Yeah, this ain't the Ukraine." Like Trump says to Putin, "This ain't the Ukraine to show the B-2 flying over." As that happened,
in Ukraine, I think that Trump flexed on him pretty hard, which I thought was good, because I do like a president that shows strength through our strength as a country.
Yeah.
And I don't think that strength needs to be shown through whatever, but I do think that we should be showing off our military strength because we are the superpower. I'm hoping good things come out of this. I do think that the security guarantees that I read about yesterday, basically giving Ukraine NATO light, is a good deal and a good starting point for them, and they should take that deal. Because they're not getting NATO membership, unfortunately, as long as Putin's alive. I think that that's off the table. And so if you want a real end of the war, you need to start looking at us in Europe.
I think Trump his primary concern is ending the war, ending the actual fighting. Now, what that looks like, does Russia get the territory they've already taken? Maybe. I doubt they're going to cede any territory.
We've already proven that, we will stand by our allies. We did that with Israel and Iran. I think that what we did to Iran with the B-2, dropping those bunker busters over those nuclear facilities in Iran was a good thing. Just to show that, we're the United States. We are the superpower. Sorry, we are not going to stand forth and you're going to have these nuclear sites anymore and you're going to threaten the free world. I thought that Trump was actually really good on that. And I think that liberals being scared of that was really weird. Again, weird policy. Just you couldn't say that, yes, that was good. Okay, no, you took the side of the Ayatollah. Awesome.
I think that to sum up with this, and I got to wrap up because I actually have stuff I got to do today, and as does Kaitlin. But so my final thing with it, to bring it full circle, is to your point. There is a reflexive instinct now in liberals and Democrats that no matter what Trump does, it is wrong, bad, and evil. So therefore, they must be against it. And they don't They don't pause to think and go, well, hang on a second. Maybe if it is not that bad an idea, we should just shut up about it. Like bombing the Iran nuclear facilities. Their brains have been so broken by Trump derangement syndrome. It's like, well, if Trump's against illegal immigration, we must be for illegal immigration, and then they lose elections. If if Trump wants to bomb Iran nuclear facility, maybe Iran should have nuclear weapons. It's like it does not compute.
And you're being crazy. Yeah. That's the thing. That is your negative partisan is making you all psychos.
So Maura Healey just gets up there on a press conference. She is the governor of Massachusetts. She has nothing to do with Trump. She has nothing to do with tariffs. Okay, she's accommodated illegal immigrants. Welcome here. I'm for driver's licenses for illegal immigrants. They can stay as long as they want. We'll blow out the budget. We'll spend $20,000 per family. We'll do all of these things. If we don't
do that for me.
Yeah,
you can't do that for me.
Redistricting.
The taxpayer. You can't do that for me.
Yeah. Okay. The gerrymandering in Texas is so bad. Well, we do all this shit here in Massachusetts. It's their brains are so broken. Vote Republican.
Yeah.
There you go.
From the top down to the cemetery committee in your towns, guys. Yep. From the top to the cemetery to any commission in your local town, vote R.
Yep. All right. That's it for this episode of the RINO Podcast. Head on over to patreon.com/RINOPod for extra content. Only $1 a month. We appreciate your support. And enjoy the last remaining fleeting days of summer. Bye-bye.